Is Wednesday, May 13th. It is now 9:02 a.m. Welcome to the Buffalo Water Board meeting. We're going to get the meeting started in just a minute. As we do with every meeting, if there is any member of the public, either in person or virtual, if you would like to speak on any topic, we can allow you a few minutes. Please raise your hand in the chat or come off mute. If you are in the meeting in person, just raise your hand and we will acknowledge you. So I'm going to turn this over at this time to Connor to go over the housekeeping issues, and then we'll start the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Sunderland. Good morning, everyone. This is Connor Browning with GHD. I'd like to wish a warm welcome to everybody joining us for this May meeting. As a reminder, this meeting will be recorded. And to start things off, I'd like to introduce a couple of housekeeping measures. To reduce the amount of background noise, we kindly ask you to stay muted until you're ready to speak. And at the time you're ready to speak, please state your name and affiliation for the record. At this time, I'll begin taking the roll call, starting with the board members. After I say your name, please say here or present. I'd like to start with Bill Sunderland.
Present.
Debbie Lombardo.
Present.
Bill Hanley.
Present.
And Tim Donovan. Present. Thank you, board. I'll now move on to our regular attendees, starting with Peter Merkel.
Present.
Jack McMahon.
Present.
Paul Arrow.
Present.
Damon Sykes.
Present.
David Hill.
Present.
Doug Schultz.
Present.
Bill Ferguson.
Present.
Stephen Waldvogel.
Present.
Dustin Steiner.
Present.
Zach Cox.
Present.
Damon Rand.
Present.
Pat Thornton.
Present.
Mike Wohlhouse.
Present.
Jeff Mays.
Present.
Sean McLaughlin.
Present.
Luis Hernandez.
Present.
Thank you. Eric Machen.
Present.
And then we have Nolan Skipper. It's fine. And I think that's it. So I'll pass it back to Bill Sunderland for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Connor. All right, board, if you would take a look at the draft agenda before you, see if there's any additions, subtractions, modifications. One that I would like take off is item 13, the limit accounts. Doug, we're okay with that for now?
Okay with that.
Okay, so remove item 13 from the agenda.
We're gonna flip 14 and 15 as well.
Yeah, flip them.
Yeah, if we need to. Doug,
For time.
they need to leave at a hard stop at 10. So,
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hearing no other changes or modifications. Is there a motion to approve the draft agenda as modified?
Donovan approves.
and we second.
It's been properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. All right, board, if you will take a look at the draft minutes from the meeting of April 15th, 2026. If there's any changes or modifications that need to be made to that. Board, are there any changes or modifications that need to be made to the draft minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the draft meeting minutes from the meeting of April 15th, 2026?
Lombardo makes a motion to approve the minutes.
Donovan second.
It's been properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move to item number 3, the public comment period. As we stated in the beginning of the meeting, if there are any members of the public, either in person or virtual, if you'd like to speak on any topic, please come off mute or raise your hand in the chat. We will acknowledge you and afford you a few minutes to speak on any topic. Connor, is there anybody online? Do you see?
No.
Is anybody, nobody present? Okay, we will move on to item number 4, staffing update. Mr. Merlo? Or Doug?
Sure. Yeah, good morning, Board. Doug Foltz, Veolia Operations. If you reference page 18 of the monthly board report, that gives you a summary of the staffing status at Buffalo Water. We have expanded and added additional information on this page. We've, in addition to the typical filled positions that we highlight, we actually are highlighting the open positions. We're also, we've expanded to indicate employees that we do have on leave to give a better granular picture of actual people that are available for work. We're currently at 76% staff based on the budgeted positions. We do have 33 vacant positions and positions filled as 105.
Doug, what is critical right now?
Critical would be all the operations positions, so filter plant operators, pumping plant operators, and MAWs right now. actually.
MEWs?
MEWs, we have 2 positions, and the reason for that is because on the basin cleaning season right now, speaking with Pat Thornton, we in-source that. We usually use
Right.
contractors for that. MAWs are critical. That's really their job specification to do the basin cleaning.
Right.
So those are, from a critical standpoint, those are the positions.
Are they posted?
They, I believe, are posted. We do have a staffing summary too that we're going to forward over to, we can forward to everyone who's going to go to Brian, but we do have that ready to go. But I'll pause if there's any other questions, and then at that point, I'd like to turn it over to Jeff, who has additional information.
So what we would like to start doing for Appendix B and staffing is reporting more, talking about the open position. So as we think about what's open, taking a deeper dive into what's open, how long has it been open, and then maybe notating, some of the struggles that we're having with those positions. And I think as Doug had mentioned, we want to also look at the employees currently on leave and kind of showcasing those, since technically that comes out of our numbers, right? So we want to just make this a little bit more comprehensive and show data and be able to understand the data and have the data tell a story to help us decide like kind of what's going on.
And also Louise, I believe, is on the phone too, if there's any more specific questions on labor. I don't know if Louise, if you wanted to add anything to that.
No, I'm working with HR, sort of service in the city of Buffalo to ensure that we are posting our positions. I looked at most of our postings yesterday, last night actually. We're just not getting applicants applying for these positions. Specifically, I posted for general mechanic and electrician. There's just no applicants. So I'm gonna request that HR repost again. But we might have to start thinking outside the box to see how we folks can start looking for the water division. My ideas that come to mind would be to start going to job fairs, things of that nature. I know that the biggest issue that we have here in the city is the salaries. They're just not comparable to the private sector. So I know that there are a lot of contracts and negotiations right now, but it might be worthwhile to have discussions with unions, specifically the unions that pertain to water, to see if there's something that could be done about the salaries for instance, general mechanic, electrician, NAWs, things of that nature, just so that we can get folks in to apply.
So I think that's a good segue into our last meeting. We talked about having a staffing steering committee. So that's something I want to start working on. So after this meeting today, I'm going to send out to all the board members, see who's interested in being a part of this. And hopefully Luis from the city can also be a part of it, so we can take a deeper dive into what's going on. And like Luis said, thinking outside the box, like what can we do to get these positions filled?
Okay.
All set.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to item number 5, the UB agreement. Mr. Merlo?
Yes, Peter Merlo, Principal Engineer, City of Buffalo, Secretary to the Buffalo Water Board. There's a scope of services in front of you, and this is basically a renewal of an agreement with the University of Buffalo. We've been working in partnership with the University of Buffalo really since the creation of our pipe loop, when the water board made an investment to look at and really understand how water services interact, especially with any changes. So the water board has those pipe loops
When did we,
constructed.
I'm sorry, Peter, when did we start that?
I would say it had to be 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And UB has provided the personnel to test the loop, to work it, to analyze it. We looked at, had them look at it to see if hydrofluoric acid was an issue. Now they're looking at alternate coagulants. I'm sorry, alternate corrosion control inhibitors and seeing if there's any positive impacts. So this is just to continue. They will continue to staff that. We meet quarterly, Stephen, with Ning and Prashant and the team in terms of interpreting the data, where it's leading, and it's been on a good path. So this just continues that. It's about 200,000, a little, say 201,674.33
Per year.
3-year term at 605,000.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
per year.
but we allocate it per year, correct?
You do.
Okay.
And we have worked with audit to encumber it that way previously, and we'll do the same thing. And the agreement itself, of course, we'll work with Charlie, but it's the same agreement that's already been vetted through John Heffron. So that's the same front end. It's just ones that works for both entities,
Correct.
us and UB.
Yep.
This has been a very, it's been a great partnership.
I agree. Board, are there any questions
I have one
regarding?
question just on the, so when I'm looking at the numbers here, like what's a student assistant for $190,000?
What these are the stuff, we are funding research programs through the university. So we have a PhD program that's running, doing the analysis. So we're basically paying for our cost through our universities are the cost for those tuitions, for their fringes, for a little bit of payment that they make. So it's a great partnership because for us to staff this, not only are they doing the sampling, they're also doing the data analysis and statistical tie-ins. So basically there's just a breakdown per the university. We're down to Alan Rabideau. As he said to me the other day, and this is the first time anyone said this, he goes, our process is, he believes, easier than their process at the university. So he wrote this scope to kind of help, but basically this is a breakdown of student cost, tuition, payment, et cetera.
Or the scholarship program, maybe?
Yeah. This is part of it. They're doing the work. Their students get free tuition, they get a little stipend. That's part of the program. And actually, I was a UB graduate. My graduate work was funded through a corporation. We were looking at ultrasonic irradiation. So this is something that I will personally advocate that, I'm here for better or worse. So I think it was a good thing.
I think it's a great program. That's why, as long as we're helping people out and doing the right things. Just the only question, because the highest one.
And they bring a lot of credibility. When you have a partnership with the university, it's like, oh, okay, it just helps give confidence.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, is there a motion to approve is this an extension or a new agreement, Peter?
This is a new agreement.
Okay,
You
so,
did extend the previous one till June 30th. So these are tied to our fiscal year because that's how we do the funding.
is there a motion to approve the agreement with University of Buffalo for the water distribution research for the period of July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029? Funding will be allocated per year as Peter described. The total amount for the 3-year period is $605,023. Is there a motion to approve?
Donovan makes a motion to approve this.
Lombardo, second.
It's been properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Move on. On item number 6, the discontinuation policy update. Who's taking that one?
This is really, I'll tee it up, a policy that's already been approved by the board. I believe there's some additional language. Stephen, I'll turn it over to you, and then if Yoli wants to add anything too, I think this was done in partnership here.
Sure. Thank you, Peter. Stephen Waldvogel, GHD engineer to the board. In your package, you have a revised draft policy for your consideration. The changes are highlighted in yellow. So all of the other language is the existing policy that was approved in December of last year. The addition to the policy is a provision that grants Veolia some additional discretion when a customer has been turned off or is scheduled to be turned off and due to hardship is unable to make a down payment of 10%. Okay, so that's the basement right now that we accept in order to turn the water service back or to avoid the turnoff. Due to the increase in turnoffs and the focus on collections, these types of situations will arise and have started to arise where there seems to be genuinely no ability to meet that 10% down. And the range of amounts right now are quite high. You know, we're targeting homes with over or properties with over $1,000 balance. And I would say the average is probably several thousand
Yeah, it's
dollars
closer to
right
five,
now,
right?
closer to five. So we're talking about a $500 down payment. Again, not getting into how they ended up in that situation. There are small number of situations presently where we have an individual that's unable to make that down payment. We also anticipate that that will become more frequent as we start to work down into residential properties, because I would say primarily we're still in commercial type properties. So this just formally grants Veolia the ability to make a discretionary decision around the hardship after negotiating with the customer to allow a down payment of less than 10%. And they would report that to you after the fact. So you will have sight on it, but you are granting them that discretion under this suggested change.
Question. So Damon, all of these, I guess these discretionary, they come through you?
Yes,
It's not just a customer service rep?
No, it'll have to come to me. It'll come to me.
How many would you say per month would fall into this realm? I know we're starting the disconnection and.
Yeah, we are.
It's spinning up obviously more, but I'm just trying to get an idea. Is it a handful? Is it?
It's one or two. It's
Oh,
not,
okay,
it's not a
so
lot.
It's a small amount.
It's a small amount, right? Because what our first primary focus is going to be, if you owe $5,000, the very first thing we're going to do is remove all the penalties. And all of a sudden you're down to 2,500. So that 10% becomes a lot more manageable, and we're going to immediately put them on a payment plan as well. So the chances are we're going to put them back on track, turn their water back on for probably $250. And since these payments have been missing for so many years, it doesn't come as any real surprise that they owe us this money. So they're going to tell us, they're going to give us their excuses why they can't do it. Sometimes they blame us, sometimes they blame health issues, but for the most part, they are all paying.
Do you have a kind of a track record of people that have been on payment programs and then they default on the payment programs?
Right.
And I mean, so you
know
have
that.
insight into that.
Absolutely, we know who they are.
You
Right,
do,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Board, any questions? Okay, is there a motion to amend the discontinuation service policy for non-payment as highlighted in the attached?
Yeah, we make a motion.
Lombardo, second.
It's been properly moved and second. Hearing no other questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move to item number 7, the residual improvement project, the time extension. Mr. Merlo.
Thank you, Chairman, Vice Chairman. Pete Merlo, Secretary to the Board, Principal Engineer for the City of Buffalo. We're seeking a time extension for the residual improvement project. This project installed a new lagoon to handle our residuals that were removed through the process. We also installed a pump station, and we actually were under budget, and we were able to reallocate funds for a phase of it that we weren't able to fund earlier. So we have tube settlers coming into our thickening tanks. These are long-awaited upgrade. In fact, we're looking to fund it in the upcoming bond sale, but we're able to use existing funds. And this just date allows the contractor. There was a little delay because we had to allow the contractor to access our tanks to do some sizing to make sure they got those properly fit. What did you say? You measure twice and you cut once. So that's what we're trying to do. So this extension actually is doing us a favor. So we'd like to extend that contract to June 30th, 2026.
Is it September
September.
30th? September 30th,
I'm sorry, I missed it there.
Yeah.
Yes,
and there's no other costs associated with this extension.
September 30. No, there aren't, because we previously approved an extension to the consultant agreement, so they have construction
Okay,
administration
that's
now
where
ready to
That's where I
go.
was going.
We anticipated that, so we're in very good shape. This is just a increase in time.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the time extension to the Arcadis contract for the implementing of the improvements to the residual system project to September 30th, 2026?
Donovan makes a motion to approve extension to September 30th.
Hanley second.
It's been properly moved and second. Hearing no other questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I might be off, but the time extension, is it for the contractor or is it for Arcadis?
The time extension is for the contract.
Okay, so you
So-
stated Arcadis.
Well, I thought,
Oh,
look
thank
at here. No,
No, they're making recommendation.
okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
let's restate it. So who is the contractor? Do we need to approve the contractor or Arcadis?
Yeah, the contractor is State Group. This letter is from Arcadis recommending a time extension for that contractor of State Group. I am sorry.
No, that's
I did
all
not
right.
catch
That's all right.
that.
We'll restate it and we'll.
Thank you,
reapprove
Steve.
it. So is there a motion to approve the time extension for State Group to September 30th, 2026 for the residual systems improvement?
Donovan makes a motion to approve State Group as read.
Hanley second.
It's been properly moved and second. Hearing no other questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right,
Thanks, Peter.
thank you. All right, item number 8, the Mass Ave Phase 2 project, report of bids, general contract. Mr. Merlot.
Yes, items 8, 9, and 10 are for the 3 prime contracts that encompassing this project. This project is the upgrade of our Mass Ave pump station located right under the Peace Bridge. And actually, we have infrastructure on both above and below the escarpment. We have transformers, we have our pumping equipment below. This is a $35 million budget upgrade per our bond sale. These are the bid results. The first one is the general contractor. We have a recommendation of award to Ace Contracting and with a low bid verified as recommended by our consultant of $10,943,000. They were just, there was about $300,000 left on the table, so they were very close with STC, so these are some good numbers. The HVAC contract is with Quackenbush. We have a recommendation to move forward
Peter,
with
let's
the low
do,
bid.
let's do one at a time.
Oh,
We-
I'm sorry, I was just gonna go through the 3, my bad.
No, that's all right. We'll go through one, we'll vote on it and approve it.
Thank you.
Peter, this says that there were 2 bids on this one. Who was the second bid?
STC.
What was their bid? Do
I believe
do I
there
not
are,
see it?
I think there were about, they didn't list the numbers. I can get the number off my phone, but I think there was about $500,000 to $1 million on the table on this contract. I will.
They were
subsequently
$500,000
send you-
higher.
Yes. All these were below apparent bidder and have been verified that they had all the documentation.
We should just always list the second bidder on these,
My
on the reported
apologies.
bids. This is, and I'm sure when you go to council for these.
Yeah,
they're
no,
gonna
I mean,
ask for
when
the
we go
same
to
thing.
council, they will be listed and there's more formality. So I actually, the next time I do this, I will just put together the council communication. I'm going to council. I'll just have it approved by the board.
That's fine. Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the Mass Ave Phase 2 bid for the general contract for American Contracting Environmental Service, as Peter called ACE? The low bidder in the amount of $10,943,000.
Hanley make a motion to approve the contract to Ace in the amount stated.
Donovan second.
It's been properly moved and second. Hearing no other questions. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, move to item number 9, Mass Ave Phase 2 project reported bids, HVAC project. Mr. Merlo.
Thank you. This is the HVAC contract. The low bid was with Quackenbush for $2.197 million. The next, bidder, there was, two bids, was with Danforth. They were just over 2.4 million. And again, in the future, I will make sure these are listed in the approved item.
But just a question real quick, didn't we already go through some of these? The Quackenbush and
Whoa, no, wait, we,
pre-bid, yeah. So we had them all in, we had the bid numbers and everything, they came in, I'm pretty sure.
yes,
Okay. But we were aware of the bidders,
yes.
so, okay.
Oh, we have them. In fact, I will follow up with the board members here and just give you a subsequently report of all those, so you have them, so.
Just so it's consistent in the way that we're reporting it.
I might,
I've always done it.
I know.
The more formality is normally with common council, and normally I have it in the consultant recommendation, typically will give the breakdown, and I missed that. My apologies.
That's fine.
Stephen?
I would also just state for the record that the bids individually and cumulatively are within the budget or below the budget that the board had anticipated and recently bonded.
Stealing my thunder. That was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, that's the end. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
But thank you. You teed it up for me.
Sorry, brother.
It should make the approval a little easier.
Yeah. That's,
Okay, is there a motion to approve, Quackenbush for the HVAC, project for the Mass Ave Phase 2 in the amount of $2,197,000?
Let me just go on the question. Why is there, it says O'Connell? Is this Quackenbush or is this O'Connell?
No, that's a typo. And I will correct that out. Bill, that's an excellent catch. But it is Quackenbush for the HVAC contract.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yeah,
As so amended,
motion to approve Quackenbush in the amount of $2,197,000.
Lombardo, second.
it's been properly moved in second. Hearing no other questions, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you, board.
All right, moving on to item number 10, the Mass Ave Phase 2 project reported bids, the electrical contract. Mr. Merlot.
Yes, this is actually the largest portion of this contract. Typically, electrical is not normally the largest portion. A lot of times it's supplemental and it's support services. But this type of contract, the majority of it is the electrical upgrades. It's installation of the transformers, the wiring, the motor controls. The apparent low and the recommendation for award is to O'Connell for a bid just under 15 million or 14.819 million. They left about 3 million on the table. I think Fry was just under or just at 18 million.
Peter, just one, I guess personally, I don't like the term left it on the table.
I'm sorry.
We could say below estimate, below budget, but
I'm sorry.
I just don't,
No, the difference between the low bid and the number 2 bid was approximately little over $3.5 million. So that number was raised concern. And when you see that, and I'm trying to explain why that was not a concern after it was evaluated. O'Connell is the current contractor on phase 1.
Right.
So they're already mobilized there. They have a distinct advantage. They went through the documents thoroughly. Our review team at Newsbomber made sure they were aware. So we had a surety that we didn't have an irresponsible bidder that we may have problems with. So I just wanted to give assurances when you see that number and you see the difference between the low bid and the number 2. I'm just trying to explain that discrepancy.
I just
now.
don't like the term, I left money on the
I
table. There's other ways of stating it, that's all.
I was understood.
Okay, that's just,
I just want to explain what I meant by that.
thank you. And also, Peter, so just like we talked on the other ones, that we should report all of the bids on here, just like you do for common council.
Yes.
All right, board, is there a motion to approve O'Connell Electric for the Mass Ave Phase 2 project, the electrical contract in the amount of $14,819,797? Motion to approve?
Yeah, Hanley make a motion to approve O'Connell in the amount of $14,819,797.
Second.
Properly moved and second, hearing no other questions, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, the Mass Ave, Phase 2, CA and RI, Mr. Merlot.
Yes, this is the last piece, and as you heard from Stephen, when we do the math here and we add this phase in, we are going to be about 2 million under the projected budget. With this last phase is for the construction administration for the project. This is with Nussbaumer and Clark. This phase has been described in their contract, but has yet to be funded, to be planned to be funded at the time of construction. That proposal or increases in your packet, the total amount, and there are multiple phases here. Each phase is per diem. The bulk of the phase is for the construction phase services, both for the office time reviewing submittals. We feel that there's going to be a lot of equipment that needs to be evaluated, a lot of potential substitutions here. So we anticipate a lot of office time as well as a lot of inspection. We're actually budgeting 1.5 inspectors for the term, all per diem. We have sub-consultants because of the size of the project. We've already coordinated and have the inspection permit through City of Buffalo Inspections. We wanted to make sure that was available to help the contractor move forward. We have, and again, some of these are for inspection for the electrical, for some of the building services. So we're really doing an overall upgrade. So the cost control is really, these is all per diem. These hours are going to be used as needed to manage a job. We can keep updates to the board as needed, but this allows that phase to go forward. And so far they've been, except for a little confusion on the reported bids, everything else has been top notch in terms of their evaluation and their performance. And like I said, in this day and age with this sort of electrical equipment, for us to be 2 million under budget is fantastic. We have 2 bids that we are on or under budget, and we're looking to be able to fund the next project, and we may be able to have fund all 3 projects on budget at over almost $70 million. That's impressive for anybody. So I'm going to look at the team and just say thank you. So again, reported bids was a little off, but it's all good news.
So Peter, this is obviously a per diem for the CA and RI. It's for a 36-month period. Is
Yeah.
what this is stating, and the total is 4,516,000.
Yes.
Correct. That's why I
That's
got it
correct.
summarized. Sorry.
Thank
Well,
you.
Board, are there any other questions regarding this change order? Okay, is there a motion to approve the Mass Ave Phase 2 CA and RI change order number 7 for Nussbaumer and Clark for the 36-month construction period in the amount of 4,516,000? Is there a motion to approve?
You Haley make a motion to approve, Nussbaumer, amount of $4,516,000.
Lombardo, second.
Been properly moved in second. Hearing no other questions. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to item number 12, the SRF loan application information. Is that, Stephen, is that you?
Yeah, I can kick it off and then hand it over to Damon. What you have in front of you is a seeker resolution that Charlie prepared for purposes of a financing application to fund the grant for lead service line replacements. So Damon, anything you want to add?
Yes, just real quick, David Rand, GHD. So, just to expand upon, Peter's comments there, this particular component is, one of 12 components involved in the financing application. At this point, we're probably, roughly about 50% through with pretty much a ton of data that we had to kind of put together and, provide the EFC. So we're very close to that. Also, I'd just like to add that, just with the overwhelming amount of, lead service lines in the city, we're going to continue to seek after these type of funds that are through the state. So, there's another one coming down the pipeline here shortly.
What was the total for this one? Even
11.35, 11.5 million.
that was the additional amount that Governor Hochul added in.
So the original package from EFC was approximately, I don't have the exact numbers, an $8 million grant and a $3.5 million loan.
Right.
The state purchased the loan portion under the LIFT program. So now it's a grant from EFC and a grant from New York State.
And
for the
just,
full amount.
and just for clarification for the board, this is it's for a very targeted area.
It's for
Yes.
a clustered area on the east side of about 600.
650 properties, right in the
650
kind of university district area,
Right, I mean, we had specific
Yes.
addresses
Yes.
in there, so this isn't,
650.
and these weren't, there was no flexibility
No
in changing
flexibility,
that
yeah.
per the meeting we had in there. Okay, so this is a resolution to adopt the,
The seeker, you have the resolution.
Right.
For, I think you're claiming lead agency. I didn't read, Charlie's not here, but I think you're declaring lead agency and starting the process of seeker. Or yeah,
yes,
we were counting on Charlie.
third paragraph, serve as lead agency pursuant to the state secret. Okay, is there a motion to approve the resolution for the Buffalo Water Board to act as lead agency for the SRF loan application? A motion to approve?
Yeah, Haley, make a motion to approve, the resolution, approving the Buffalo Water Board to serve as a lead agency.
Lombardo, second.
I'll have discussion if I can, just,
Okay,
just
this
so.
is a good time.
Yeah, so, so yeah, there are three items that you're actually resolving. One is you will serve as lead agency, but you're also determining this, program constitutes a type 2 action. Okay, which is expected. And then you're approving the submission of the application to Environmental Facilities Corp., which again is this just formality. And then you're authorizing the chair to sign all documents.
We should be able to, you can do it, the full resolution is.
Yes, stated,
As stated, yeah.
and Brian's very aware of this, and he's ready to start. This is a very good program, and it's gonna take a while, and it's a very stringent program as far as the guidelines for it.
Yeah, the timing is yet to be determined depending on when the money arrives, but I think best case scenario, you'll be replacing these in the spring, you know, something like that.
It's kind of what we forecasted, springtime.
Spring
Next year.
next year, okay, to
Yeah,
start.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, timing and when the funding actually arrives is, you know,
Well, this is reimbursable,
it's all reimbursed, yeah.
so we would be
yeah.
using reserves anyways, and then,
Yeah, so that would be there will be some discussion on cash flow. I would suggest that you not begin until EFC is prepared to reimburse.
right,
So the money's ready. They do reimburse rather rapidly. So you submit a request and 2 weeks later they reimburse the money. So I would suggest you have that all set so that you're not drawing down your reserves by the 11 million. You're only drawing down each payment application and
well, the reserves aren't 11 million anymore.
they're not, but the 11 million would be the cost of this project. That's what I'm saying, you know. Again, it's all, we can all determine that later on. That's months down the road.
So, is there any other questions regarding what this resolution is? Okay, so Bill made the motion, right?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve Buffalo Water Board, the resolution of Buffalo Water Board
As lead agent.
as the lead agent and attached, for phase 2 CARI.
No, that's a different item.
I'm sorry,
It's
you're
just,
correct.
it's just,
It's a SRF loan application. I
Correct.
take that back.
Alright, so
Yes.
it's been properly moved. Debbie second, I
Yes.
believe. Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, all in favor? Right, we're going to go to the monthly report from Veolia.
Sure. Good morning. Yep. Good morning, Board. Veolia, Doug Foltz Operations. We have some good news to share, which is great. Want to touch on a few project-related items, and I'll turn it over to Damon Sykes to discuss financials. As discussed, we're getting into our basin cleaning season right now with Pat Thornton's personnel. Earlier in the meeting, we talked about a time extension for the Arcadis contract with State Group. State Group, under that same contract, installed a new pump station, residuals pump station. That has kind of been a game changer, we're realizing at this point. I've been here at this facility for 25 years in some capacity.
Took us a while to get that in.
Yeah, and the basin, the north, we've started with the North Basin this year, and it has moved more material than I've ever seen in a very short amount of time. So that not only makes things incredibly safer, Easier for the personnel, but it will probably reflect on labor cost for overtime. So that I think was a very, very wise investment.
And Doug, just, my understanding is the head issue in the North Basin isn't as big of a deal, so you're really.
Yep.
And that's more of the concern anyway, so it's working, my understanding is working better
We're,
than
we're
expected.
very, very, very well. Yeah, we
That's
had some
excellent.
operational tweaks we had to make on the controls, but once we did that, I think we've kind of figured it out.
You know how long it took us to get that in?
Yes, yeah, so that was,
That's awesome.
Yeah. right. So that's definitely a positive. Some interesting, results from the 16-inch backwash water supply line that we had to repair, the emergency repair. What we didn't realize was that we think that was probably leaking for a very long time. We were in the low lift pump station and the sump pump station and the low lift pump station, which is much, much larger than a residential sump pump station, has drastically reduced on infiltration. So that will in turn hopefully reflect the power cost. Now I know that's not a huge deal, but it makes you feel good from an environmental standpoint. So some positive news there. And the chlorine chase water supply, that project has been ongoing for quite a while. It was designed through GHD. They did a great job. We now have a redundant wash water supply for the chlorine gas system for our disinfection system. That was finally wrapped up, I think, last month. That is a big deal. We realized that there was only one supply line for the chlorine system, which we would just call it a single point failure. We now have redundancy on that system, which is makes everybody feel good. So good news.
It also took a little time, but we got there.
Good.
Yep, all set.
Thanks, Doug. Damon Sykes for Veolia Finance. I'll give you an update for the month. Board, I want to bring you good news. We had a great month. Revenues came in at $5.6 million. We were looking for 4.9, so it's a $674,000 improvement for what we were expecting in the month of April. You can see our collections were outstanding. We obviously collected more than we billed, but again, there's a lot of history here of turnoffs and we've been collecting on. When you look at over the 10 months now, we're at $48.8 million versus 42 from last year. So we're $6 million over where we were last year. And most importantly, kind of, we can bring that down just a touch. I just want to show you the 95, there it is right there. So we're collecting 95%. For every dollar we send out, we're collecting 95 cents on the dollar. So that tells you we're collecting not only the current month, but we're going back in time and collecting revenues. So it was a very, very good month. Kind of, we can go to page, next one down on page 6. This is most important. Like, again, I brought this up before. In November, we were at $2.4 million shortfall on our budget target. Now, here in April, we're less than $500,000. We close a $2 million gap those between November and April. So we close that gap. So now, when you look at, Bill, you asked me last month, can we close the gap completely by the end of the year? We have, again, we're $500,000 short. We have 2 months to make that up. So if we can hit budget and go over $200,000 beyond budget for those 2 months, we'll hit their target of $59 million. That's what we're trying to shoot it for. So we need $10 million for the rest of the year, about $5 million each month, and be $200,000 over. We'll close that gap since November. And it's all because of the turnoff program, which I'll get a little bit more details here in a second. Kind of, we can go to the next screen on page 7. Again, we see the improvement. I brought this up last time. You can see that our accounts receivable from March was $31 million. And we've cut that down to $30 million. Remember, we're sending out $5 million worth of bills every month. So our accounts receivable is going to go up $5 million no matter what. But if you're collecting $5 million, that's going to keep it neutral. But we're even collecting more than we're sending out. That's another good sign. And kind of, if we go to page 3, I want to talk a little bit about the turnoff program that Mike and I are working on. The turnoff program on page 3, you're seeing here, Buffalo Water is now written or underwritten basically 975 payment plans. Promise Bay's done 174. So we've done about 1,100 payment plans now. You can see the increase since Mike and I have done the turnoff program. So it's gone up quite a bit these last 2 months. When we're turning people's water off, they're going on to a payment.
These are active plans?
Yeah, they're active.
Have we actually might turn people off?
We turn off about anywhere from 30 to 40 people a day.
Yeah.
Well, we are actively doing it now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've been for about
Month and a half.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Last month, after
2 months, yeah.
After the board meeting, last month, Mike asked us to go from 20 to 40.
I thought, yeah, I thought 20 was kind of your.
So we get our
25.
Right.
Yeah.
We, you know, is the time of year, right? So we were basing that on starting in February, which is still in our busy season, so we started low. We kind of tapered off the main breaks and retailers, so I was able to dedicate the crews to do more, so we were whacking out those 20.5 days time, so I asked to bump it up. Which I'm going to today to ask to bump it a little back down, we're gonna go back
Okay.
down to 30.
30, okay.
Because we're running shy of getting it done with doing contractor support and crew support. So I'm just trying to find that really good spot where we're able to do everything we need to get it completed and be able to go day to day.
Have you run into any curb box failures during this?
We have,
How many?
we have repaired 2.
We,
So
Buffalo Waters repaired them at our cost.
we replaced 2 so far.
Okay,
But we probably issued about 8 or 9. But those people have not made arrangements, haven't called us to get the water turned back on or anything yet, so.
so until they do that, you don't do
We're
the
not
repair.
pursuing. We won't pursue unless they ask for an assistant. They go ahead and get a plumber, then we're gonna allow them to get a plumber.
They gotta pull a permit, they gotta go through you.
Yep.
Yeah. Damon, you generated a report a while back.
Right.
That kind of listed everybody from the top down, and it did.
Right.
It was an aging report, basically.
Yeah.
Can you, I guess for the board members, just send that?
I can kind of show, I was gonna demonstrate that today. So on this aging report, so I asked when we go into a billing cycle, Mike and I have 60 billing cycles around the city. So we do this on a daily basis. This happens to be billing cycle 2950. So what I asked the computer to do is to give me the top 50 of those customers from the highest to lowest. So this particular group, somebody owes us $58,000 and the lowest owed us $2,000. So what I'm doing then is then taking that list, you can see the check marks. I'm going in there and physically looking at each one of these customers to see what they owe us. So if it's a check mark, meaning it's going to make Mike's list, the customers very typically look something like this. There's absolutely no payment activity on that. You can see charges, penalties, one after the other. This goes back several years. This happened to be one very typical of what you're going to see on this list with a check mark. The ones that don't make the list, they look something like this. You can see the yellows. They're making payments. They owe us $4,000, but they're making $60 payments. So these type of customers don't get turned off. Sometimes I'll have to bring to the board to make a decision on customers like this. What are we gonna do? Because there's still a lot of money associated with customers who owe us $4,000 in this case, but they're making consistent payments. These people are being missed.
Are they keeping with the current also?
Not really. No, they're not keeping current, but they are making payments. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt and we're taking them off the list. I only want customers to look like this on this first round.
So if they're on the payment plan, they're not incurring interest, correct?
That's right. We'll remove the interest and then they won't incur any additional while they're on the payment plans.
But it's not catching up what they
Yes,
owe us from
that's-
previously, correct?
As long as you're paying what you're responsible for on the payment plan. You not only have to pay your payment plan balance and catch up, you also have to pay your current
Right.
quarterly charge.
That's not
It-
happening.
that's-
Is that what you're
that's-
saying?
you know,
His example, it's not happening.
It's not
Okay,
happening. Right.
that's,
But that's, so you never catch up.
no.
No,
we
you
can't.
don't, right, but we have, right now, we have plenty of the customers who are not paying us anything, so we're really focusing on that group.
I agree.
But at
with that.
some point, we'll have to come back,
Phase
and,
2.
right, at some point, we're gonna have to address people like this, who are not keeping current with their payment plan obligations. But
Or
remember,
their
we only
current
really
bill.
done heavy-duty payment plans for these last
We're
two
gonna have to
months,
adjust our turn off parameters.
Right,
right,
Right now, we're
right.
doing no payment in the last
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
4 years.
We have plenty to go
Yes.
through that, that group
And
first,
those people are paying and we are closing that gap on collections.
Right.
But we're not even stretching service. I mean,
right,
40 turnoffs a day is nothing.
Yeah.
In how many people.
For what we have, but our limiting factor at this point is really what.
Correct. There's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
We can't nibble away. There are people who are starting to surface and just pay.
Before you
bills
even turn off,
without
right,
even
right,
Going to turn off.
you're getting
So,
that group,
the program's working, the word is out. We haven't had much pushback. People are expecting us to turn off. They know they owe us money. We. Back 6, 7 years ago, we used to, people would be threatening us, stuff like that, because we were shutting people off for a much lesser
Right.
amount of money owed. So,
Yeah.
I think with how much we owe, people are more receptive, they get it.
Right, right.
Damon, I guess the people who are just on a payment plan that are not keeping up in what we're just talking about.
Mhm.
Have we looked and see whether they qualify for any of the, the low income or senior discounts or any of those things in there? I mean.
We
try to
offer
help.
we offer those
do,
up when they
okay.
come in the door. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're 65 and older, you have to go to City Hall to go to the tax department to get applied for that. And we just put the April annual list together. We received the list from the tax department. But we'll certainly put them on the list for next year. We'll tell them about it. We'll tell them about the RAP programs, the residential affordable water programs, and we'll give them direct credits on their accounts. We tell them about that as well.
Debbie, do you ever hear this topic come up with your board? Your community groups and
The
stuff?
only thing that we've heard about is, people were complaining that the water went up. And I'm like, well, everything is going up. So you haven't had an increase in how many years? So really to have the increase now, I get it and I understand it because everybody's going up. That was really basically the only thing that we have heard people complain about. And then, of course, the lead pipe thing. There's been a big talk about that, they think the program is done. They're not, I think some people are just not really listening to what's happening. Hence why I'm always saying it's time to get out into the community and really explain. And, now I have these that I'll be distributing. So I think the important part is I've never, until I got on this board, ever saw anybody out in the community talking about this. Sewers out there, this one's out there, that one's out there. It's time that this group gets out there and starts explaining the situation to the community because they're only going to listen to what people jabber about. Facebook is the worst enemy in the world because everybody's putting their stuff out there about what's going on. And I think that for me, talking about it in person to people or tabling and letting people talk to you, I think more people have respect for that and they feel like they're being heard. When they're not being heard is when people start complaining. And that's what I'm hearing. And I go to a lot of meetings. I just was at one last night. So I think it's just important that we really continue to revisit looking about getting out there and letting you guys be present and being able to let people talk to you. And again, you're going to get all types of people. You're going to get the angry, you're going to get the ones that don't understand, and you're going to get the ones that just want to know what's going on. So I've been working with Jeff on connecting him with some people to, get the word out, and hopefully that'll help. The one question I did have is where are we with companies, restaurants, companies, whatever the case may be, like, where are we sitting with them? Because I know the list had quite a lot of them that owed like $10,000-$20,000. Like, how is that working? Because I know we're going to residents, but what are we doing to these people that are kind of like, making money?
Well, we're totally blinded. It's a blind-based program we're doing. It's all based on the account number, the dollar you owe me in the account number. I don't really look at the name or the address.
So Debbie, we go to wherever he sends us.
Okay.
Right.
If it's commercial property, we turn them off. We turn it off.
Right.
We turn off restaurants, we turn on.
Okay.
We just don't do apartment
Yeah.
complex.
Turn off.
Right.
We don't turn off any 4-unit resident.
Right.
Apartment
commercial
complex,
resident property.
Yeah.
So if it is a storefront or a business and there's apartments with it, that does not get turned off.
Okay.
We are passing some major
Yep.
collections from these properties though. So we definitely need to figure out how to collect on those or what the next move is. And we're talking some in the $90,000 range.
Right,
Right.
right.
Go
That's
ahead.
what I'm saying. I mean,
Right.
BMHA.
well, that's a whole other issue in itself, but that take an act of Congress. Yeah. Right. I'm just, I guess, being a community member and everything, I understand it, but I'm also concerned about the fact that we have these other commercial places that, why weren't you paying your water bill? Like,
Right. Yeah.
really seriously, it's part of your everyday
Yeah.
task or however you want to look at it. I mean, you get the bill
They
along with your other bills.
Right.
You're paying your electric and gas, but you decide not to
Yeah.
pay water.
Right.
So I guess I have a little bit of an issue with that. Just on the fact that I just don't want the community people to feel they're being targeted.
I
Right.
can speak to, like, specifically one came up yesterday. It was a convenience store chain, which will remain unnamed.
Right, that's fine.
But that did come up in that day, so we are actively pursuing commercial accounts that are. in
Great,
arrears.
that's
Yeah.
good to hear.
Yeah.
All right.
Just to
thank
give you,
you for that.
just to give you a couple, some numbers here. So Mike's received 795 work orders for turn off, 795
Wow.
to date. 386 of those have paid and turned their water back on. Another 302 are unable, either because it's a mechanical curb stop problem, they've obstructed it, it doesn't work, or it's an apartment complex. So the unables are classified in that two group, mechanical problem or an apartment complex we can't do. That's 302, right? And then something else very important, 107 have been taken offline because it was a vacant property. That's gonna, eliminate the possible, that constant sending out an invoice to a property that doesn't exist. It's a vacant lot or whatever. That helps our meter readers, that helps our billing, that helps with Stephen when it comes time to ever do another rate increase, then we're gonna give him live dollars rather than stuff that doesn't exist.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
And we'll continue to go
This is,
through it.
David Hill, if you can hear me all right. This program was designed specifically around collecting dollars, not people, not addresses, just solely looking at amounts. And that's the way we'll continue to collect. We're not targeting anybody. We're trying to balance collections with compassion. And thus far, we have done that. I think the program's going very well. There is a lot of money still out there, and it's going to take several years to get it. But our intent is to continue to run this program, to ramp this program once we get some more labor, and we intend on completely collecting all the money that's due to us. That's it. Thank you.
No, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I think it's great. I'm just looking at it from the
Yeah,
perspective
Yeah.
of
totally
what
agree.
people
Yeah.
say.
Correct.
So
Yeah, I'm
it's, I'm
I'm
not,
just
I'm
sharing
not,
the facts here. Yep.
well, I get it. And believe me, you guys are doing a great job and I'm just letting you know what I hear out
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
So
And we will
Yeah.
get to the apartment communities with the work of Charlie. That's going to take some legal assistance,
Right.
but there is ways to touch those folks, but you got to do it correctly. So
Oh,
they are on the
absolutely.
list and they will be coming.
Okay,
Steven,
thank you.
who did we have previously that was working to do that community outreach that Debbie's talking about? Help people on, who was that?
So we had hired a PR firm, Ari Parsons.
Right.
And we, together with the PR firm, we're tabling, we're attending community events, we're putting out social media. And we have a draft plan that I've worked with Brian on to kickstart that again.
Okay.
And I think there was a discussion just yesterday
Yes.
with Peter and Brian about maybe restarting something like that again. So Debbie, we would like to probably sit with you and just,
That has value.
start to put together some, and I know there are individuals in this room that have approached me and volunteered to help, at these events as well. So I think we just have to put it together and make it happen.
I can help with that. Unfortunately, I can't sit at the table because 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off
Yeah,
with these
yeah.
things. So, but I will definitely support it and, help you in any way possible. I know Jeff and I have been emailing back and forth, so we come up with a couple of things that we can do. So yeah, absolutely. Just let me know.
Sure. And I think one of the other things we want to touch on is we're working with you a little bit on coordinating with the presidents of the separate block clubs.
Yep,
So we're going
yep.
to try to get them here for a tour to start.
Yeah.
So we can start with the top down and get the messaging out correctly. So
Anything else?
I'm sorry, I need to depart. but
Yes, I
thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
Doug, thank you.
PhD? Steve?
Yeah, so Steve Waldvogel, GHD engineer. I'll just touch on a couple things. I've been in contact with the rate consultant to piggyback on what Damon has just reported. We were initially thinking about a rate increase in July. I think the preference and the direction from the chairman is, let's see where collections go, because to the extent that this collection performance continues, avoid a rate increase completely. And so far, if we're tracking towards budget, That's great news. So I am working and we will continue to work with the rate consultant to monitor collections and forecasts cash flow for next year. As you all know, the backdrop to this is the city's looking at tax increases and such. So to the extent that we can help and protect our existing ratepayers by avoiding a rate increase through these activities, that's what we're trying to do. Today we talked about some really big issues that we should be messaging.
Right.
You know, if we avoid a rate increase because of this program, that's helping 90% of the city. You know, there are things like that. Peter talking about corrosion control. So this public engagement and outreach, there is lots of materials that we could be telling a very positive story. Okay. Second thing I'll just mention is that we have been spending a lot of time thinking and preparing a strategy to deal with lead. There is a draft document that the chairman has. There's been a series of meetings. We hope in the next couple months to bring that to the board so that you can understand what the strategy is and understand
that with the
moving forward.
commissioner as well.
Yes, the commissioner and
So
the
right now it's still a
chairman.
draft.
Yeah, so there's still some strategic discussions ongoing. All of this kind of overlaps. We're talking about affordability. We're talking about public health. We're talking about the improvements that we're doing. All of this comes together. And so we've been working with Peter and Violi and other people's. And I guess I should maybe say this, although maybe it's known, you know, Damon Rand has joined GHD now. And so he
Not be Damon and Damon anymore.
Yeah,
You broke up the marriage.
it's
Separation. A lot of years.
it's
They can truly separate though. I mean,
That's tough.
yeah, we you know, we continue to work with Veolia in a collaborative way. We oversee Veolia, but we also need to collaborate because they are your key contractor delivering these services for you. So Damon will continue to support the water board, brings real unique insight, and part of his role will be to work on these initiatives, Debbie, to engage the community more directly in education and get the messaging out there. And he's already jumped in. He knows Buffalo Water. He knows you. And he knows the city. So it's a great fit.
Awesome.
So
Great. Anything else?
that's it.
All right, board, our next meeting will be the second Wednesday of June, which is June 10th. How does that look for everybody's calendar so far? So we have quorum. Coordination meeting will be the Wednesday before, June 3rd. Connor will send out something on that, on both actually. But does June 10th work for everybody? Good so far? Good so far. So we have quorum. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Lombardo, second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.